Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to We Need to Talk episode number 12. And today we got U.S. border is a disaster. And I have a bunch of information for you guys. I got data. I got, up the wazoo because, everyone's covering this thing right now. And I want to give my 2 cents in because I come from a family, of my first generation. And obviously my other family isn't. So we migrated here, and I'll give you guys my opinion at the end. But first, let's get to the facts. Let's get to the data, and then formulate your own opinion. And then by the end of the video, then we can have a conversation about that in the comment section if you guys want to. All right, let's do this. First, these are the 3 stories we're going to be going through. Is the first one we got is CBP releases December 2023 monthly update. We got number 2. We got Biden administration has admitted more than 1 million migrants into the U.S. under parole policy. We can get to that a lot. It's a big key thing right there. And then number 3, we got Biden border crisis. 13 illegal immigrants now in the U.S. Oh, these are really credible articles from news organizations. I got cbp.org, which is from the government. We got, or independent, I have no idea. We have CBS News, which is, semi. And then we got the Washington Examiner. So these are pretty big boys right here. Let's go first with the cbp.org. U.S. Customs and Border Protection. In December 2023, the U.S. Border Patrol recorded 249,000 encounters between ports of entry along the southwest border. CBP's total encounters along the southwest border in December were 302,000, consistent with historical trends, and so on and so forth. We got the CHNV parole process. Through the end of December 2023, 327,000 Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans arrived lawfully under the parole process. Specifically, more than 69,000 Cubans, 133,000 Haitians, 60,000 Nicaraguans, and 87,000 Venezuelans were vetted and authorized for travel, and more than 67,000 Cubans, 126,000 Haitians, 53,000 Nicaraguans, and 81,000 Venezuelans arrived were granted parole. So this isn't a fact, but this is I saw a huge, what was it, I forgot what company was it, but a press organization was questioning Marioka. I can never pronounce his name, but he's basically the guy in charge in the United States border, like the defense, whatever his name is, Mayorkas, whatever. And he asked them specifically, what do you guys do to vet them? Like, what is the process that you guys do? And he kept asking him that, pushing that, because there is theories and rumors going around, and even some of it on video, them just asking for their name and then just letting them in. Obviously, that's just speculation, but we don't know that for a fact yet. Like if that applies to the vast majority of the immigrants coming in and they're not vetted, or if it's just those, a singular event. So we don't know. So yeah, that's the first one. The reason why I kept it short, because there's so much data on the thing. A lot of the data, when you're reading it, it sounds opinionated for some reason. I don't know why, but I try to pick out the key things, like the parole process, which this video is mostly about. And in 1 month, you can see like what kind of what amounts of people are coming just with the parole process, like this 302,000. Like, that's pretty crazy. And this is total encounters along the southwest border in December. So that's pretty crazy. So we're moving on to our second one. CBS News: Biden administration has admitted more than 1 million migrants into the U.S. under the parole policy Congress is considering restricting. More than 1 million people have been allowed to enter the U.S. under Biden administration programs based on the Immigration Parole Authority that Congress is considering restricting at the request of Republican lawmakers, according to the internal government and data obtained by the CBS News. Since Biden took office in 2021, his administration has used immigration parole at a historic scale, invoking the decades-old law to welcome hundreds of thousands of foreigners fleeing and armed conflicts in Afghanistan and Ukraine, or political and economic crisis in countries like Haiti and Venezuela. That's kind of it's broad and not broad at the same time. You know what I mean? Just hearing that out loud. But we'll continue. Arrivals under Biden parole programs. You see here like the amount of people coming from the one app that's basically I don't know if I went through that, but the CBP One app is where people sign up for the parole program. You can also, I think, phone call as well, but they mostly do it by app. So you download the app, you tell them why you want to come here, your name and where you're from. And then depending where you're at and your location, they might even fly you to the United States. And then that's where this is a rumors, obviously, because nothing from the government has come out about this. But those camps that you see in airports and like rooms that they closed off for immigrants, or they call migrants now, they were closed off for the one app. But obviously that's speculation. We don't know yet. Internal federal statistics as of January 18th show that Biden administration has invoked the parole authority to admit 422,000 migrants who used a government phone app known as CBP-1 to schedule time to be processed at an official U.S.-Mexican border crossing. These migrants are also placed in deportation proceedings in immigration court, though those cases typically take years to be decided due to massive backlog of claims. Officials have also used parole to welcome 340,000 Haitians, Cubans, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans at airports under the Biden administration program that allows the U.S.-based individuals to sponsor them, according to internal data. So that's exactly what I was saying. I still don't know like if this is from the Biden's administration directly or it's just speculation. But that's exactly what I was saying earlier, that people are using these apps, and depending on your location, and if you're not allowed to get here on foot or in car or like that, they'll fly you here and they'll pay for everything, and then they'll just have family that will pick you up at the airport. And if you don't have family, I don't know if they hold you there or you can just walk away. I don't know that. Obviously, a lot of people can speculate, oh, they just let them go, but we don't know. Stuff like that. Even though I want to know, have data on that, we don't know. That would be like replacing whole small states amount of population within weeks, 2 months, and even in a year you can replace like the state of Maine or something like that. It's pretty crazy when you think about it that way. Let's go to our third article. This is from the Washington Examiner. Biden border crisis. 13 million illegal immigrants now in the U.S. A new estimate this week put the growing population of gotaways, in quotations, at a sky-high 13 million, more than the population of every state except for California, Texas, New York, and Florida. That's exactly what I was saying. It is crazy. 13 million gotaways. So those are the ones that they didn't even get to vet. Those are the ones that they didn't even get to stop and, all that kind of stuff, or frisk. They just got away. He provided the new estimate at a conference held this week, during which he released a new census-based report showing that there are almost 50 million foreign-born citizens in the country, far more than the previously expected by the government, and likely driven by the spike in the Biden administration approved immigrants flooding into the country. Camarota explained that there is no way to count the population of gotaways exactly, but there are accepted formulas. Focusing on the period after President Biden took office in January 2021 shows an increase of 4.5 million. The increase during Biden's first 34 months is unprecedented. What is so striking about the recent run-up in the number of immigrants is that the increase represents a net change, not merely new inflow. Looking at each presidency shows that the growth since the start of Biden administration is dramatically higher. So far, it has averaged 137,000 a month since President Biden took office, compared to 42,000 a month during Trump's presidency before COVID-19 hit. So January 2017 to February 2020, the average increase during Biden's presidency is nearly double the 76,000 a month average during Obama's second term, and significantly more than double the average increase of 59,000 Obama's first term. If Obama's presidency is taken as a whole, growth averaged about 68,000 per month. Averaging many months together reduces month-to-month fluctuation. and shows that the pace of growth during Biden administration has been much higher than his immediate predecessors. Since last week, the scope, scale, and seriousness of the Biden border crisis has accelerated. 1 week ago, an all-time record of over 12,000 illegal immigrants crossed the southern border illegally, he said. So that was illegally, over 12,000 illegally. You know, obviously, there's some from the one app that crossed or flew that are not being counted over here. But damn, that is crazy. To put the number in perspective, President Obama's Homeland Security Jen Jensen, said in 2019 that 1,000 encounters a day would overwhelm the system. Let's be clear about why this crisis is happening. President Biden gambled with America's safety and security, added the Senate. So after all the facts that you guys just, heard me spew and were vomited everywhere, and I didn't bring my glasses today, so that kind of sucks as well. I'm like squinting a lot during all this reading, but you guys wanted to see that. Let me see some of the things I wanted to touch on. One of the things was the CBP One app and the replacement theory. So this is a conspiracy theory from back in the day when Reagan first did the amnesty, which he pardoned a bunch of immigrants. Doesn't matter how they got here. Actually, I don't know about that, but they just pardoned a bunch of immigrants that were here and gave them all citizenship. But when they gave them all citizenship, that's cool and dandy. You know, they can get licenses and pay taxes and all that. But it also gave them the right to vote. Now, when you're going to vote, who do you vote for? Do you vote for the people who try to kick you out your whole life while you were here? Or do you want to vote for the people who kept you in and gave you the amnesty and gave you your papers? So it's kind of like buying votes, if you think about it. Because if you have a bunch of immigrants coming here, citizens, and then you give them all papers while the other side was advocating against it, obviously the other side is not going to get any of those votes. And that's why people are calling it the replacement theory. And then they're saying it's happening again this year. Well, this presidency, that Biden is trying to get as many immigrants in here as possible. As you're seeing, some of the stats are somewhere around like 13 million. But it could be north or south of that. No one really knows the exact number, but it's in the millions by far. And so like even the legal migrants from just the one app was over 1 million. So that's pretty crazy. So the new one, the conspiracy theory is coming back again. The replacement theory is that he's trying to get all these immigrants in as fast as possible, and he's trying to get maybe the governors of each state, trying to give them amnesty, because the Senate won't do it and the House of Representatives, they probably won't, pass that bill. But the governors can, and the legislature in those, in those states can, kind of like in California, what they're trying to do, and in New York. In Cali, since they've been losing population like crazy, their population is fleeing and running away from their state. This is the first time they ever lost population in the last 3 years, in the last over like 200-300 years that they've been in the state. Like it's pretty crazy how that's going down. So that theory is coming back again, and there's so much things correlating to that, and why people assume that, and why, like, it's so suspicious. Why do you want so many immigrants coming in? I do know that there's the argument on the other side, which is the population drop that the United States is going through. We have a what's it called, the death rate or something like that. It's pretty low. It's the lowest of all U.S. history, like within the year, and it's pretty bad. No one's having kids right now. No one, like Americans wise. Like, yes, of course some are, but it's not enough to replace the outgoing generation. What I mean is, like, Social Security net, it's gonna collapse, and that's the theory that's going on everywhere, is that there is more retired people than there are workers. What does that mean? They're gonna have to increase taxes so we can pay more in Social Security, so we can hold the retired generation up. And since we're not having kids, we don't have enough people, and there you go. So that is a Democrat way of, like, that their argument is that they need the immigrants. So, obviously they can keep Social Security alive and some other things as well. But the thing is, and this is where the Republicans and obviously conservatives and even some liberals and independents get mad about, is it's okay. Like, no one hates the immigrants coming in. No one, we like are like no one's are racist towards them. The thing is we hope that they assimilate. If they don't assimilate and integrate with America, if they don't love the stars and stripes like we do, but they come here and they vote and change laws to how they want it to be changed and whatever they want to do, it kind of kills the country entirely. And if you guys notice, just take a step back. How many U.S. flags are no longer hanging in your streets? Like 20, 30 years ago, there was American flags everywhere, but now they're just all being taken down one by one. They're not being replaced by anything, but they're just being taken down. Like, patriotism is dead. Like, even if I come out there and say I love America, I have American flag on my car or stickers, people are gonna make crazy assumptions about me. They're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, this guy's a crazy patriot. This guy probably has guns everywhere. He probably has PTSD from something." Like all kinds. They will say, "Sorry for swearing." Not only that, fix the simulation problem. If immigrants are coming here and they're not assimilating to our culture and they're bringing their own independent culture, and you put them in Section 8 or something like that, an apartment complex, and you put a bunch of Haitians in an apartment complex, guess what's going to happen in that small area? It's going to turn small Haiti. Small Haiti. It's going to be small Haiti. It's going to be little Haiti. And you do the same thing with Cubans. If you put them all in an area together, they're going to be a little Cuba. And you're going to put all these people, like, they need to come and assimilate and adapt to this culture. Yes, it's nice to bring other cultures, and diversify a little bit, dabble here and there. But you have to be willing to fight for our country. You got to be willing to die for our country. You got to be willing to pay for our country. You got to be willing to love what you're coming here for. If you come here and then you bring your ideals and what caused your country to collapse, people here are afraid that those people are coming from a failed and collapsed country and society and diplomacy in all kinds of ways. They come here and they're afraid that their voting and their votes will coincide with what made their country collapse. That's all I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's the fears and everything. You guys can get through that. Obviously, you can understand the other side. Some of my closing remarks. And in my humble opinion, how many more people can the U.S. take before it becomes an unrecognizable nation where we divide ourselves even further? My hope is that the journey that they took cultivated knowledge beyond stats and numbers on the negative effects of socialism and communism. And like the Cubans, protect our rights and fight for our freedom with even more motivation than citizens born in the U.S. because of the trauma they had to endure in their homeland. And that's basically what I want this whole thing to be about. Like, stop the immigrant hate, because obviously, my family were parts of some. And I want the immigrants and the people coming here to see this and please assimilate to the culture. Please love our country like the other citizens love this country. If you hate this country, find a way to fix it. If there's something wrong with the country, find a way to fix it. I did this podcast. I did the show, the We Need to Talks, just so I can do that. Just so I can just stop complaining at home or to my family or to friends and stuff like that and actually do something. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting my money and my foot where my mouth is. That's even a saying. And let's do this. Let's get this done. If all of us in my generation, I'm like the last year of millennials, which there's a bunch of horrible stats about millennials, but we need to get together and fix what the boomers messed up. And not only that, not only just fix, but make better. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. Rant's over. Please like this video, comment your thoughts down below. We want to hear from everyone and from every side. We want to make sure everyone feels heard and everyone feels like their input is recognized and discussed. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone needs something. And please share this channel with your friends and family. Share these thoughts and your ideals with everyone, and have discussions, at home or at family gatherings and stuff like that. Obviously, keep it very cordial, be peaceful, no violence, and subscribe to the channel. If you guys like this video, subscribe to it. Follow us on every single social media and podcast places, whatever. And please follow us on all the social medias. And this is your host, Jose, hitting escape. Peace.